You can't ask for more from others if you're not doing more yourself. That's the hard truth. If you want to lead, if you want people to follow your example, it starts with becoming the example. It starts with you becoming a standard. You don't get to lead from the back. You don't get to stand on the sidelines and point fingers, barking orders and expecting excellence while delivering mediocrity. Leadership begins when you stop waiting for someone else to do it and start becoming the proof that it can be done. If you say you want to be great, then greatness has to live in everything you do. From how you talk, to how you walk, to how you show up when no one's watching. It's not about perfection. It's about intention. You're either setting the standard or lowering it. There is no middle ground. If your actions are inconsistent with your words, you become noise. Static. Just another person talking big but living small. People don't follow titles, they follow truth. And the truth is in your actions. You got goals, dreams, responsibilities, then act like it. Stop telling people how committed you are. Show them in the way you show up every single day. Show them your preparation, your focus, your hustle, and your respect for the process. Be the first one in and the last one out. Be the one who doesn't take shortcuts. Be the one who doesn't cut corners. Because when you are the standard, cutting corners is never an option. You do what needs to be done, not what's convenient. And you do it with pride. Understand this. Every time you decide to show up late, to slack off, to make excuses, you're not just affecting your own life. You're affecting everyone watching you. Your kids are watching you. Your teammates are watching you. Your community is watching you. You think it's just you, but it's never just you. Every time you lower the bar for yourself, you give others permission to do the same. But when you raise it, when you become the example, when you live the way you talk, you inspire change. The standard starts at home. You can't lead a business if your personal life is chaos. You can't expect discipline from your team if you don't live discipline in your own life. Look in the mirror. Do you like what you see? Do you respect the habits you're living with? Do you believe in the work you're doing? If not, that's where you start. That's where the transformation happens. Not in others, but in yourself. You want to change the world. You want to motivate the masses. Motivate yourself first. Wake up before the alarm. Train when nobody's looking. Read when others are scrolling. Speak with purpose. Listen with intent. Be humble in growth and relentless in pursuit. Become what you expect from others. People follow consistency. They follow authenticity. They follow people who hold themselves to a higher level, not because someone told them to, but because they refuse to settle. That's what being a standard looks like. It's discipline without applause. It's showing up even when the crowd's gone. It's working while others rest, not because you're trying to prove something, but because you're building something. Something real, something lasting. Let's be real. It's easier to point out what others aren't doing. It's easier to critique than to create. But leadership is about ownership. You take ownership of your time, your decision, your behavior. You stop expecting the world to rise up and start making a change inside yourself. If something needs to be fixed, you fix it. If something needs to be done, you do it. Not for the credit, but because it's your responsibility to be the example. And when you take that responsibility seriously, everything changes. People see it, people feel it. You walk into a room and your energy speaks louder than your words ever could. This isn't about ego. It's not about acting better than anyone. It's about living in alignment with your values. If you say hard work matters, then your work ethic should scream it. If you say loyalty matters, then your actions should never contradict it. If you say excellence matters, then you don't do things halfway. That's how you become the standard. And once you become it, you raise everybody around you. You shift the culture. You become the blueprint. And people can't help but level up just by being near you. So don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for perfect timing. Don't wait for applause. Decide today that you will be the person who lives the example. Not once, not sometime, but every single day. Because being the standard isn't something you talk about. It's something you are. Anybody can be motivated when it's convenient. Anybody can show up when everything's going their way. When the weather's nice, the mood is right, and the energy is flowing. But true leadership, real growth, shows up when it's not convenient, when it's cold, when it's dark, when the world says a rest, but your purpose says a grind. You want to lead by example? then you've got to make a decision that consistency will be your lifestyle, not just a mood or a moment. You've got to decide that showing up is non-negotiable, not when you feel like it every time. Not when it's easy, especially when it's hard. When you're consistent, people know they can count on you. They know you don't just move with hype or external motivation. You move with purpose. You move with discipline. That's what separates leaders from followers. Followers get excited one day and disappear the next. Leaders commit, and then they keep committing. They understand that success doesn't come from explosive energy one day a week. It comes from small, intentional, powerful steps taken daily, even when nobody notices, even when there's no reward in sight. There's a difference between being interested and being committed. Interested people show up when it feels good. Committed people show up no matter what. Interested people do what's convenient. Committed people do what's required. So you got to ask yourself, are you doing what's easy or are you doing what's necessary? Are you building habits or chasing moods? Because if you wait to feel like it, you'll never build consistency. You'll be up one day and down the next. Your life will look like a roller coaster. Your results will be unstable. And people will see that. People won't follow inconsistency. They'll follow dependability. They'll follow character. They'll follow someone who's the same in the light and in the dark. You see, consistency is not glamorous. It's not always exciting. It's not viral or flashy, but it's powerful and it's rare. Most people are addicted to speed. They want quick results, fast success, instant applause. But leaders understand that consistency compounds. Every day you show up, you're building momentum. Every day you work, you're stacking bricks. You might not see the full house today, but you're laying the foundation for greatness. And it's not always visible. It's not always praised. It's always necessary. The problem is too many people chase comfort. They want results, but they don't want the repetition. They want to win, but they don't want the work. And that's why so few truly lead. Because leadership demands repetition. Leadership demands routine. Leadership demands that you do the right thing over and over again until it becomes who you are. And when you live like that, people start noticing without you even saying a word. You become reliable. You become trustworthy. You become the standard others measure themselves by. Think about the people you respect the most, the ones who inspire you. Are they the loudest or are they the most consistent? Do they talk the most or do they walk with discipline every day? That's the real power. When your actions speak so loud that your voice becomes secondary. That's the kind of impact that lasts. That's the kind of leadership people remember. And let's be clear, consistency doesn't mean perfection. It doesn't mean you never struggle or stumble. It means you don't quit. It means you don't let a bad day become a bad week. It means you reset, refocus, and return to the mission. It means you don't use setbacks as excuses. You use them as fuel. And when people see you do that, when they watch you bounce back, when they see you keep showing up when life punches you in the face, they'll respect that. They'll be inspired by that. And they'll follow you because you live what you preach. So stop measuring your success by how motivated you feel. Stop basing your work ethic on your emotions. Emotions change, energy fades, but consistency, that's a choice, that's a muscle. And the more you use it, the stronger it gets. The more you train yourself to show up, the easier it becomes to stay in motion. You build systems, you create rituals, you lock in. And before you know it, the habits you used to fight become the habits that carry you to new levels. If you want to be a leader, if you want to set an example that others can trust, you must be consistent even when it's inconvenient. You must show up early, stay late, and do it all over again. Not because someone's watching, not because someone's paying you, but because you made a decision to lead. You made a decision that your word means something, that your mission matters more than your mood, that your legacy matters more than your comfort. And when you make that decision every single day, you don't just change your life, you give others permission to change theirs. Real leaders don't hide from mistakes. They face them. They don't point fingers. They point thumbs. They say, I messed up, not they messed up. Ownership is one of the most powerful qualities any leader can have. You want to lead by example? You want people to trust you, respect you, and follow you? Then learn to take responsibility when things go wrong. It's easy to accept praise when everything's going right. But the real test of leadership is how you respond when you fall short. That's when your true character shows. That's when people decide whether you're real. There's another voice with no backbone. No backbone, nobody's perfect. Mistakes are part of the process. You're going to miss deadline. You're going to miss deadlines. You're going to make the wrong call. That's not the issue. The issue is whether you'll own it or run from it. Will you have the humility to say, that one's on me? Or will you let your pride get in the way? Too many people are trying to look perfect instead of being honest. But perfection doesn't build connection. Authenticity does. When people see you hold yourself accountable, when they watch you stand in the fire and take full responsibility, they gain trust. They believe in you because they know if you're willing to admit when you're wrong, you're strong enough to do what's right. Ownership isn't weakness, it's power. When you say, it was my fault, you take back control. You put yourself in position to fix it, grow from it, and come back stronger. You stop being victim of circumstances and become the driver of change. You say, this is my life. These are my choices. And I'm going to take full responsibility for what happens next. That mindset builds influence. That mindset builds credibility. Because people don't want perfect leaders. They want real ones. They want leaders who are transparent, who are courageous enough to admit when they fall short, and disciplined enough to make it right. Blaming others might protect your ego, but it destroys your leadership. Every time you blame, you lose a little bit of trust. You push people away. You create a culture of fear and silence. But when you own your actions, you create a culture of honesty, accountability, and growth. You make it safe for others to be honest too. You set the tone. You lead by example. And that's how you build something that lasts. Not through control or intimidation, but through trust. Think about the last time you made a mistake. Did you take ownership? Did you apologize without making excuses? Did you sit down and ask, what can I learn from this? Or did you defend, deflect, and deny? See, growth doesn't come from pretending you're always right. It comes from acknowledging when you're wrong. It comes from sitting in the discomfort of failure and letting it shape you. That's where leadership is for. In those moments where your pride wants to run, but your character says stay. People are watching how you handle your failures. They're learning from how you respond to pressure. If you respond with honesty and integrity, they will too. But if you respond with blame and deflection, don't be surprised when your team does the same. You set the tone, you define the culture. You want people to take accountability, then show them how it's done. You want people to be responsible, then lead with responsibility. Be the one who says, even though this didn't go as planned, I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna grow from it. I'm gonna be better because of it. And when you do that, something powerful happens. You stop fearing failure. You stop hiding from mistakes because you know you're capable of overcoming them. You know you're resilient. You build confidence not from pretending you're flawless, but from proving you're unbreakable. You become the kind of leader people follow, not because you always get it right, but because you never run when things go wrong. Ownership also teaches humility. It reminds you that you don't know everything, that there's always room to grow. That leadership is less about being above others and more about serving them. And when people see you take ownership with humility, they open up. They trust you. They become willing to take ownership themselves. That's how you multiply leadership. That's how you create a culture of excellence, not by demanding perfection, but by modeling accountability. So the next time you fall short, don't hide it. Don't spin it. Don't pretend it didn't happen. Face it. Learn from it. Fix it. And move forward stronger. That's what leaders do. That's what real leadership looks like. Not flawless, not fake, but honest, strong, and accountable. The kind of leadership that doesn't just talk about standard, but lives them, even when it's uncomfortable. Especially when it's uncomfortable, because that's where trust is built. That's where influence is earned. That's where legacies are made. Leadership isn't about being in charge. It's about serving. It's not about having the spotlight on you. It's about shining light on others. You want to lead by example? Then you have to understand that leadership is service first. That means putting the needs of others before your own. That means helping people grow, supporting them through their struggles, and being there not just when it benefits you, but especially when it costs you. That's what separates true leaders from those just chasing titles or recognition. Anybody can give orders. Anybody can make noise. Anybody make noise? But it takes character to serve. Real leadership is the one who steps up when it's hard, who sacrifices comfort to lift someone else, who doesn't just talk success, but create space for others to succeed too. You gotta be the one who says, "I got you" when others are breaking down. The one who checks in when no one else notices. The one who picks up the slack, not for praise, but because that's what leaders do. Because service isn't weakness, it's strength under control. It's knowing every time you serve, you're building people. You're building loyalty. You're building trust. Too many people want to be seen as leaders, but they don't want to carry the weight that leadership brings. They want the rewards, but not the responsibility. They want the influence, but not the investment. But leadership without service is empty. It's hollow. If all you care about is climbing the ladder for yourself, you'll end up alone at the top. And that's not leadership. That's ego. Leadership means bringing others with you. It means looking behind you and seeing people who are rising because of the sacrifices you made. When you serve first, people feel it. They know your motives are pure. They know you're not doing it for show. And that builds connection. That builds loyalty that money can't buy. People don't remember what you said as much as they remember how you made them feel. If you made them feel seen, supported, valued, I'll never forget that. And they'll go to war for you. Not because you asked them to, but because you earned it. Serving others doesn't mean being passive. It doesn't mean being soft. It means being intentional. It means asking, how can I make you better? And then backing it up with real action. It's mentoring. It's teaching, pushing people to grow even when it's uncomfortable. It's giving people feedback when they need it and encouragement when they're doubting themselves. It's showing up early to make sure they're set up for success. It's being the person who doesn't walk past the problem, but steps into it and says, "Oh, let's fix this together." That kind of leadership changes lives. That kind of leadership multiplies greatness. Because when people see you serve without expecting anything in return, they start doing the same. You create a culture of generosity, a culture of ownership, a culture where everyone takes responsibility for each other. That's what strong teams are built on. Not competition, but contribution. Not selfishness, but selflessness. That's when everyone starts rowing in the same direction. That's when things move. But you gotta be willing to go first. You gotta show them what service looks like. You gotta be the one who sets the tone, not by saying it, but by living it. People watch what you do more than what you say. If they see you putting in the extra hours, checking on others, lifting a weight no one else wants to carry, they'll follow that. They'll respect that. Because you're not above the work, you're in it with them. And that's where real leadership is found. It doesn't matter what industry you're in, what title you have, or how much money you make. If you're not serving others, you're not truly leading. Leadership means putting people first. It means seeing their potential before they see it in themselves. It means calling them higher, challenging them to be better, and walking beside them through the struggle. It means helping them win, even if it means sacrificing some of your own comfort to make it happen. This world doesn't need more bosses. It doesn't need more people chasing clout. It needs more servants, more people who are willing to put others on their shoulders, not for recognition, but because they understand that legacy isn't about what you achieve. It's about what you leave behind in others. When you serve, you don't just lead people, you change them. You inspire them to become leaders too. And that ripple effect, that's how movements are born. So if you want to lead by example, don't start with authority, start with service. Don't demand respect, earn it by showing up when it matters, by doing the little things that no one else sees, by making people feel like they matter. Because the truth is, the greatest leaders never make it about themselves. They make it about us, about the mission. Leadership is not about saying the right things. It's about doing the right things consistently. It's about becoming the standard, not just talking about one. If you want to lead by example, then everything about your life has to reflect the values, principles, and excellence you expect from others. You can't just tell people to be disciplined. You have to live discipline. You can't preach about focus and then get distracted when it's time to lock in. You can't demand respect if your own actions aren't respectable. Real leaders inspire not because they speak louder, but because their actions speak first. People don't follow what you say. They follow what you do. And when your actions don't align with your words, trust breaks. Motivation fades. Influence crumbles. It's not enough to have the message. You must become the message. You must carry it in how you show up, how you work, how you treat people, and how you respond when things get tough. That's where credibility is born. Not from charisma or clever words, but from consistent, disciplined, value-driven action. You have to become the example in your circle, in your community, in your team, in your home. That means showing up early when others are late. That means keeping your word even when it's inconvenient. That means staying locked in on your purpose when everyone else is distracted by comfort and convenience. It's doing the extra work. Not because someone's watching, but because you are. It's living in such a way that when people see how you operate, they're challenged to level up. Not because you told them to, but because your life convicted them. That kind of leadership starts with standards. High standards, personal standard. Not the kind you post about, but the kind you practice when nobody's looking. Standards in how you speak, how you think, how you move. Standards in how you carry yourself, how you respond to adversity, how you bounce back from failure. Leadership isn't just about what you achieve. It's about what you embody. Are you living a life that demands respect? You pushing yourself every day to be the person you expect others to become? If you want to be the example, you got to be relentless about self-discipline. You've got to hold yourself to the fire daily. Because every time you compromise on your standards, you give permission to others to do the same. But every time you hold the line, even when it's hard, you show people what's possible. You show them that excellence is not just an idea, it's a lifestyle. And that's what leadership is really about, embodying the lifestyle you're asking others to adopt. You can't fake this. People can spot inauthenticity. They know when someone's just saying the right things but living another way. But when your actions line up with your message, that's when trust builds. That's when people lean in. That's when your leadership becomes magnetic. You're not forcing people to follow, you're inspiring them to follow, not through pressure, but through example, not through talk, but through action. And make no mistake, this path isn't easy. It requires discipline, sacrifice, and integrity. You're going to have to make tough decisions. You're going to have to say no to things that others say yes to. You're going to have to walk away from shortcuts, excuses, and distractions. Not because you couldn't take them, but because they don't align with the life you're building. That's what being the example looks like. It's taking full ownership of your time, your habits, your mindset, and your mission. It also means being consistent even when you're tired, even when no one claps, even when no one's watching. That's what separates real leaders from pretenders. They don't need an audience to do the right thing. They don't need applause to give full effort. They don't need external rewards to keep showing up. They're driven by something deeper, a fire inside, a commitment to their calling, a vision for something greater than themselves. And when you live like that, people notice. They may not say it out loud, but they're watching, they're learning, they're being influenced. You're giving them a blueprint, a new stand. You're saying that this is what's possible. You're showing them that greatness isn't reserved for the chosen. It's available to anyone who's willing to pay the price. And the price is consistency. It's discipline. It's integrity. So don't just talk about excellence. Live it. Don't just post quotes. Become the quote. Don't just repeat what others say. Let your life be what others repeat. Be the proof that hard work pays off. Be the proof that character still matters. Be the proof that greatness is a choice, not a chance. That's how you lead by example. That's how you change your circle. That's how you shift your environment. By becoming the message, not just speaking it. By living in such a way that you raise the standard for everyone around you without ever saying a word.